What's good, my loves and my fellow creatives? I see y'all logging in. All right, so I finally am getting back to these 10-minute templates for you all. And since y'all had a lot of interest in this one, I figured we'd go ahead and get it back in session. Okay. What's up, Courtney? Miss Valencia, Sharon, Tiffany Ruff, what's good, girl? Rona, my girl Rona's here. Courtney, what's good, love? And Tammy. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing going, okay? So what we're gonna do, sneaker tees are a really big thing in the sneaker community. I encourage you all, if you are part of this type of crowd, then I just started joining some of the sneaker groups on Facebook just to kind of get some ideas of what people really want to see, what the trends are, that sort of thing. Because I've done this for years. I mean, years doing sneaker tees, and maybe one day I'll show y'all some of my old stuff, and it probably will get revived. But this is actually G got me back doing this stuff again, so I'm sharing it with you. But this is a major deal, especially dealing in custom work, for you to offer to match your customer sneakers. Now, I want to give you a disclaimer that you should also give your clients that matching colors is not a guarantee, especially when you're talking about online customers. There are various variables here. One is the way the photo was taken, the lighting for the photo. You have the monitor color and calibration. You have your ink color and calibration. And then you have your printer calibration. So all of those issues make for a multitude of ways that colors can be misrepresented, okay? So you always want to let your customers know, hey, if you send me a picture of your sneakers, I'll do the best I can to pull these colors, but I can't guarantee that they will be accurate based on many variables such as the photo itself, okay? If they sent you a photo in bad lighting and you're trying to match those colors, you can't help it. I'm grabbing photos off the internet. I don't know who snapped that photo and what type of lighting environment it was. And then you even have the lighting, whether it's outdoors light or indoor light. You have something called metamerism that makes colors look the same in one lighting environment and totally different in another. Okay, a lot of factors. But now that I've given you the disclaimer part, we're going to get to the fun part, which is pulling in these sneakers and matching the colorways. So, and we're going to have a color series coming up, and I'm also going to have a service to help you all with color. Now, premise to that service is that I don't know what ink you're using and how to calibrate the different inks that you use. However, what I'm going to do within the next couple of weeks is I will be re-releasing the Innate Lab ink. It's going to be called True Colors. I'll be re-releasing that ink so that as long as you're using that ink, I can tell you precisely how to troubleshoot your color issues, okay? One of the sneaker tees groups, let me see real quick. That's a good question. But I have to open up Facebook, and Facebook is not friendly to these internets while I'm recording, but I'm gonna take that risk because that's a good question. And if you all know any sneaker communities, let's see, sneaker. There are some magazines, so I know the Sneaker Freaker magazine is it's not a group, but it's a magazine that you can follow. Tip, I see you're in that. Hey, and 52 other friends like that. Let's see, I have a group called Sneaker Collectors. It's not that large, but it does have some what you're looking for is just inspiration, right? We're all looking for that inspiration. So that one, and then I like the Sneaker Con. It's a convention just for sneakerheads. I've actually been to Sneaker Con a few times selling sneaker tees and stuff. That's been really fun. So Sneaker Con is another one. Let's see. Where are my groups? Matter of fact, we'll do a post for that because I need to put that information out there for y'all. Yes, ink, ink, ink. So I'm excited. I was quiet for a long time about the ink. And it's because I was working on developing these templates for y'all, and I didn't want to get too intense with a product and the digital product. I really wanted to start focusing in on this digital product for you all because nobody else was offering this to you. So, like the templates were my thing to kind of get things going. And as a matter of fact, let me highlight one of our members here she posted some stuff today. And I have to say, Devonna, I'm gonna give you your credit now. I don't know if you're here watching this right now. I hope you are, but you have been killing it. A lot of you have, and I'm gonna start shouting y'all out because for real, y'all really make me proud. I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of my Facebookage here. But this is Devonna, and she is killing it. She's using my inks. She's actually local to me. Um, and she has been killing it. I did a session with her to get her printer settings right. So the printer and the Photoshop is acknowledging what it needs to acknowledge. And these colors and her execution, just how she's using the templates, have been really great. And I'm really proud of her. So this is our ink here in use. So I'm really excited. I'm really going to be excited. I'm really excited about kicking this off for you all in addition to the templates. So I just I'm one of those people who have to stay in a certain lane until I get the groove right. And then I will, get in a different lane and get that groove right. So for the templates, I'm finally seeing you all work with the templates. I'm seeing how you can make them come to life in your own way. So I'm proud of you for that, and I'm ready to move on to, I've been doing some blank substrates, like the graduation stoles and the masks, and I will be having some things come out, license plates. I'll be putting those out, and so let me know what blanks you want to start seeing. So that's one lane, and then the other lane is that ink. So a little sneak peek. I'm gonna show you. While I got y'all here, I know y'all came to see this template, but while I got y'all here, let's see. Let's go to my folder. And I'm really excited. So this is a little mock-up I'm working on right now. I'm getting ready to take photos and do all that good stuff. But it's True Colors is the name of it. And I'm working on some different marketing stuff for it. But these are the bottles that will be able to work for the new EcoTank printers. Ta-da! So not only will it be quality ink, quality colors, and pretty much it's an out of the box, no ICC profiles needed, but I am encouraging you to print from Photoshop so you can make sure you have the same settings every single time and you're getting consistent results. That way I can help you get consistent results with color, because that is one of the main issues that I hear people have with sublimation are the color issues. So True Colors is going to help to resolve that. Now, there are some colors that are just going to be out of gamut for sublimation, period, unless you're using fluorescent ink. And maybe we'll get into that into the future. But for right now, we're going to go with what we know and keep it simple, sublimators. So I'm excited. Anyway, so off of me talking about the next product, let's get into savage mode, okay? So I do have the artwork here, and I've decided to let the artwork stay in here because I did get a little bit in my feelings because I see some people and they still are actively selling my artwork on Etsy, but we're going to get in front of that because what I'm going to do is quote unquote hire a couple of people that will be able to help me set up my Etsy listing so that basically I have an alternate website on Etsy where if this design is put out there first and other people copy it, we can contact Etsy and say, hey, this is the original design, please have the others take it down. So I'm having to hire people just to kind of help me stay on top of that. But it's cool because it's a community. So the people that I'm quote unquote hiring are really going to have access to all the templates, but in exchange, are going to help me do around about 5 hours worth of work per week, which is mainly just monitoring, calling out when they do see, any type of infringement or that sort of thing. So if you're interested in that and you're in the Innate Creatives group, I did put a post about that. So definitely comment on that post and let me know if you're interested. I am looking at some of your work. Can you edit the templates? What your strong points would be, what you can offer to be able to help me out. And even if it's something that you see that I need help with that I'm not taking care of or not addressing, let me know those things, and if you can fulfill the help in that way, then I'm interested in how you might be able to help me and how I can help you. Oh, Rona, thank you, baby. And Rona, you're one of my A1 day ones, so I definitely appreciate you. Okay, awesome. Yeah, but you know what? This is an industry, and we got to be real careful about everything. Okay, so it's just we can all step on one another's toes, and I can't say that I haven't stepped on some toes before, but I try to do so in a way in which I am respectful of another artist. And even like this design is technically, someone else sent me a photo of something that they saw somewhere, and they said, "Hey, can you make this?" And technically, I can, but I have to put my own spin on it. I can't just replicate something else that I see exactly, because it really bothers me to my core, and I definitely don't like to sell it exactly as somebody else did it. So that's just my thing, and I'm sure that we all have our ways in which we borrow ideas, but at the core of it, to literally take a file and sell that same file is just that's blasphemous. But anyways, we're gonna keep it moving on a positive note. And I'm glad that you all have been helping. So shout outs to y'all, because I wouldn't know nothing about none of this stuff. I stay in my little lane, my little hole, until someone calls it out and calls me out, and then I see it. What's up, G? Okay, so now let me show you how you would work the colorways, how you would pull in your sneakers, how you would change this, because this is what's really going to help you all take your businesses, your practices to the next level. Okay, let's get into it. So I'm going to my folder right now. I have a few sneakers that were uploaded in the Innate Creatives group. Let me pull that up. I can't talk and click at the same time, so if I'm talking, guaranteed I'm pausing and not doing anything else. All right, so I'm going to click on these images in my folder, and I will bring them in. And I'm just going to bring in one shoe at a time so we can focus on one thing at a time. So I'm bringing this shoe on in, and this is a fun colorway. Y'all, I love colors. So, oh gosh, I should have put the name on this one. KD, I'm trying to think of the name. And I don't want to open back up my, remind me who it is that I'm doing these sneakers for. I know you got to be here. Because I'm trying to think. I know it's something KD Customs or something like that. Anyhow, remind me. Kendra! Okay. Hey, my love. Okay, so we're working on this for you today. Now, in this process, I'm also going to show you how to take the shoe photo and kind of pull it in as a not just a color kind of color palette, but also how you can just go ahead, clean it up, and make it part of your mock-up, right? All right, so first things first, let's play with this shoe. Let's get it right. Let's take out this background. I'm going to Control Plus to zoom in, and without y'all having to remind me, I'm turning on my mouse tracker. Look at that, progress. All right, so let's get into taking out this background. Now this one is a pretty decent background. Normally it's a white shoe on a white background. So let's go ahead. I use the side profile. It's much easier to take the background out of and to see all the colors. Now I want to show you something. When I click this color, I don't have it on contiguous. And contiguous means that it is touching, just like the contiguous United States, the 48 states. So the 2 states that aren't touching, they aren't contiguous, they aren't in the same touching area. So I want to remember that. So I want to take continuous off is what I have now. So contiguous on is what I want, because I only want to select the area around the shoe. You see the difference there? So it didn't create a selection in this cyan area here. Now it's still not clean. It's not what I want it to be. You could use the quick selection tool here, and let me show you that difference. Quick selection it uses the brain of the computer, like it's a little smart way that it tries to figure out, see how it's thinking right there? It's trying to figure out what would you want to keep versus not keep. And it doesn't do right all the time, but it gives you a good starting place for most contrasting backgrounds. So I did the quick selection. Now I want to subtract from the selection because it got a little of my shoestrings here. So I'm going to hit the subtract option up here. Zoom in a little bit. I'm doing Control plus to zoom in, and I see a little bit of my shoe here that I want to keep. That's probably the shoelace tag there. I forget what they call that. And then there's this tongue strap that it missed. Okay, around here looks good. And then some of the sole is blacking out. So we're going to now, instead of the minus, I want to add, well, no, I do want to subtract this from my selection because I'm really selecting the outside right now. So when I subtract this, I'm letting it update. You see how it's thinking every time I make a stroke? It's thinking. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to have some problems with the shadow versus the black bottom of the shoe. Well, that's cool. I'm going to go ahead and use my lasso tool here, and I can do an addition or subtraction selection. Right now I want to do an addition because I'm adding to the background. And I don't usually use my clicker, but in this case we're going to clean it up anyhow. I'm going to round this out, smooth it all out. And then I'll use my magic wand tools to select everything on this outside, because you'll think it's selected and there are, let me show you, matter of fact, right now, if I zoom out and I just delete this background, which I would have to turn it into, I'd rasterize it later to delete the background. I don't usually delete the background, but I'm going to delete and then I'm going to deselect. If you can't see, there are pixels out here. If I do Control T, it shows you that there are some pixels out here somewhere, and you won't see them until they're on top of something special, like right there. You see that? That little piece right there, and there's probably even some somewhere around the edge of this photo. So I did that just to show you that on top of your quick selection, you also want to go ahead and get that magic wand tool and get all of that outside outside of everything. So I'm going to make sure I'm on the add selection and select everything on the outside, and then it'll usually highlight where there's leftovers, if there are any leftovers. See that right there? That's my culprit. So I'm going to hold down Shift, or make sure that Shift means to add, or I can make sure that I'm selected on the add selection here, and boom. Okay, now this is not changing out the template at all. This is just an added bonus for those of you who are getting into sneaker matching, which is usually big for the summertime. So y'all are gonna have fun with this. And if you can make the socks and the sneakers match, I'm putting y'all up on game here now, and I have a surprise tutorial for y'all too. I'm going to show you how to sublimate shoelaces. Okay, so the sneaker community is big. Don't sleep on it. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead, delete all that outside stuff. Well, before I do, Control D. I'm sorry. I do want to keep my selection, so I'm going to Control Z before I take any of that out. This was a clean mask. Sometimes you don't have a clean mask, so I'm going to show you what happens if you don't. You can go to your select and mask. That was the option up at the top. And I'm not going to feather so much as I am going to smooth it. So I'm going to bring actually my feather completely down. And I'm going to bring the smoothness up a little bit. And what'll happen if you had any areas that were kind of choppy, depending on how you cut it out, it will make them more rounded and it'll be a smoother transition from node to node. And it just looks a little more believable for your cutout. And I can go ahead and turn my shift edge to 0. I might do a little, maybe a 2 pixel feather, because this is a huge file. If you're doing a smaller file, then your pixel size for feathering is definitely going to make a difference. And then I can turn on, usually I have this red on. And that looks pretty good to me. Now, I'm not creating my clipping mask yet because I want to make sure that I invert this. Because remember, I had the outside meat selected, right? I want to keep the inside meat, which means I have to invert my selection to make sure that now actively, the active pixels that I have selected are the inside meat of the image or the shoe. Well, Rara, stay tuned, love, because we're talking some lingo, but I promise you, if you redo this, you'll be able to do every last one of these steps. Even if you have to put the speed down to like 0.75 instead of normal speed and slow it down, I promise you, you can get all of this in one sitting. It might be a long sitting, but you can get it. Okay, so that looks really good to me. So I see a little bit of color outside of here, but I'm not going to trip on that. And to show you what I'm talking about, I'm zooming in. I see a little bit of blue out there. But if you're going to focus on all of that, then I don't think this is where you focus on that. All right, so we got our selection done just great, so we can hit OK. And then what I'm going to do is create a clipping mask now. So, or a layer mask. So you have this rectangle with a circle in it. If you hover over it, it'll tell you add layer mask. You click it, and now we have a nice cutout around our shoe. We did not delete any pixels. So if I did, like if it was really, really, really bothering me that this blue was showing around it, which it kind of is now that I'm zoomed in and y'all are seeing it up close. So I can click on my layer mask here, and guess what? I have an option here to feather. Oh, and another thing is I can actually go to here and let's pull, instead of feathering it more, I'm going to shift my edge because I told you I didn't need to shift the edge before. But you see how when I'm bringing it in, it is kind of clipping some of the image off. Now you have to be careful because it might clip a little too much in other areas, but consistently I think that works. And I'm going to feather just a little bit more. Not too much though. All right, perfect. So I can say okay. And then what I can do, I'm going to delete this layer mask and I'm going to add this new one. And that cleans up a little bit nicer for me. All right, so now that we have our shoe in there, like that was the hardest part. All right, let's get into changing this template. Now what I'm going to do, I already have one colorway saved, and I don't think I need to change anything else about this. So I'm going to duplicate this group. I will turn off my previous group, and let's call this one, oh yeah, Katie, I forgot to save the colors, but we'll just call this one multi. Okay. And what's cool about this, you have a lot of colors to choose from, so you can choose what's going to be your focal color and what may not be. So what I have here are a few swatches that you can work with. So I'm going to go into my multi-colorway and go to my swatches. And if you're not sure where in the layers panel something is, click on it on your artboard, right click it, and I see, hey, I'm touching multi-colorway, I'm touching swatches, I'm touching color number 3. Color number 3 is probably where I want to be. All right, and if you turn it off and on with the eyeball, it'll also confirm that you're in the right place. So let's go to the effects. We'll double click on it, color overlay. And I want to move this. I don't know why Photoshop does this. You would think that, and maybe Photoshop is listening to me, that when these windows pop up, they would kind of go over the panels area and not over my whole image. But that is yet to be seen, and maybe Photoshop will listen to you, girl. All right, but I'm moving this out the way so I can see my image and pick my colors. So I'm going to click on the swatch here that right now is pink for my color overlay. I'm gonna have to move this again. Let's say that I wanted to go with, let's go with this kind of, it looks like an orange color. And correct me if I'm wrong, if this is really supposed to be red. Now here's the thing too. This is what I also do. And this is why I asked to look up the name of the shoe. So I'm gonna have to go back to the book of the face and see. And let's see what Miss Kendra said the name of the shoe was and the colorway. Kendra, there we go, there's your post. Let's see, this one is Air Jordan 1 Retro Mid Multicolor. Oh my gosh, I didn't even read that before. And I called it multicolor. See, we're just kindred right now. Kendra. All right, so I'm gonna do a Google search for this shoe. And the reason why is because I wanna see various representations of these colors, because if somebody sends me a picture, even if it's from their phone, that's why when I ask y'all, hey, what's the name of the shoe and what is the name of the colorways, because a lot of times these colors look, well, some of them aren't the exact same shoe, but these colors may look different depending on their presentation. I think the one that we have here, so it does look like more of like an orange color, like an orangish red. And I'm looking at, and these are a different shoe because they don't have the mint color up front. So I'm definitely making sure that I'm looking at the right ones. Or sometimes you can see the on feet videos, and the on feet videos are online. I'm taking y'all into like real kind of like sneaker research culture because they do not play about their shoes. So if you look for the name of the shoe and look for on feet, you typically will find some videos. And oh, that was like a perfect little shot. Hold on. Pick it up. And whoever this is, on feet, Rob Herrera Official. Thank you. Matter of fact, let me go ahead. I'll subscribe because I'm telling y'all, this is research. You have to take what you do seriously. So I'm looking at it and it does look, oh, these aren't the same shoes. But thank you, Rob. I appreciate it anyway. I'm looking for the ones that have the mint in the front. Anyways. But this is how deep I go into my research, just to let y'all know I try not to play about this kind of stuff. See, I'm seeing several images here. And for the most part, I think they're all confirming that this is not a true red in the back. Go ahead and open that up in a new tab. Let me see. Oh yeah, that does not look like a true red. So I didn't want to misrepresent it. So now we get different angles of it. It definitely looks like an orange. And I would even save these for my research. Matter of fact, let's see. The colorway is white, black, light bulb, team orange. Okay, so team orange. That's probably team orange. That's just regular orange, yeah. Purple nebula, which I'm sure is not a regular purple. Illusion green. I'm thinking that's that mint green color there. And let's see. Perfect. So this gave us some good color names. So I am going to label it. Now the light bulb, I don't know which color is the light bulb. Maybe that's the cyan color. And if you don't know, double click a color, light bulb, and then put in Nike. Oh, look at that. Some other Jordan inspired shirts. And I'm telling you, once you start doing sneaker tees, they'll come rolling in. So I'm thinking light bulb. Might be that yellow color. Because we have white, black, light bulb, team orange, purple nebula. Yeah. So maybe they're not giving the cyan color a name, but if light bulb is probably the yellow. All right, so let's get back to our image now. So we did a little research. I'm kind of understanding that these colors are what they are. I'm gonna pull in that image from the back because that orange looks a little dark. So let's grab this back image here. I think it gives better lighting to the back of the shoe. Did I already save this? Yep. So save the back. I think this one gives good view for the purple. Not that I'm going to use all of these, but you'll see like from the side, the purple looks darker. Do you see how a single shoe can show so many different colors just by the way it's photographed? The struggle. Now, if you have somebody with a real shoe that you can take images off of, like by all means, that's probably what you want to do. So I'm going to choose one of the lighter oranges here because now I saw the other image. I'm pretty sure that it is orange. I'm not trying to make it red just because in my mind I think it's red. So let's go with orange for color 1. Let's see, color 2 is the purple in the image right now. So I'm going to stay with the purple. I'm going to select color 2, double click on the FX, and I'm going to go to my color overlay, choose my swatch, and I automatically turn into a color picker. Looks like an eyedropper tool. I'm going to select that and look at that difference in purple. Yeah, we had purple before, but now this one it's still a lighter, but it's a warmer tone purple. So I'll select OK there and see if I'm happy with that. And sometimes visually, you might have selected a pixel, but visually it doesn't look right. Go back to the drawing board, go back to the effects, go back to the color overlay and that swatch. And sometimes you'll need to manually adjust this. Just because you picked a literal color does not mean it's going to be the color that you rock with, okay? And like I said, I had another image that I will prefer to bring in for the purple and for the orange, and I'm just going to check myself right now. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, that's what they say. Look how that orange is different. Y'all sure y'all want to do sneaker tees? All right, so I am going to pick the color from here because where the light is hitting this right now, I think it's probably more accurate. Let's go to my, what was it, color 2? And I'm going to move these images off of my swatches so I can see. I'm not even worried about the art right now. I'm worried about these colors right now. Once we get the colors together, the artwork is just changing the colorways. So that's probably a good mid-tone. See how it's totally different? Totally different. All right, so I have that purple there. And this is why I work in gradients too, because those colors can be different, but as long as you're using gradients, you're pretty much going to be safe. So for color 1, instead of this teal here, I'm going to go with this seafoam green or this mint green. Color overlay, go to that swatch, and I'm going to tap somewhere on here to grab the green that I want. And you have to be careful about selecting the areas that have a really washed out appearance. Good, too much highlight is not good either. Too much shadow isn't good. They were good right there. Now I want a little bit more vibrance to that. Let me double click on that. It's like almost like a jade mint. See, I'm getting not so clean hues here. I want a clean hue. I want something that doesn't look muddied up. So sometimes you see how I'm adjusting it myself just to make sure I get a cleaner, brighter color. And then what it's also doing is giving me warnings. If you see that warning come up, that means it's probably out of gamut, which means it's very hard to print that color. If you click on this caution symbol, it'll take you to its next best guess for what you should use, which it probably can print or reproduce those colors. So that's a little trick and tip for you too. So we're going to rock with that. And let's see, the yellows in there, and we'll find out if we want to put other colors other places. We'll find out. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this image now. Just using it for color reference. See how I manually selected a lighter orange, and I'm glad I did because this looks more like the orange to me. Whoo, we're ready. I'm sure y'all are ready too. And we don't know how this color combination is gonna look, but we're gonna play it out, okay? So first things first, I can click on the image wherever I want to start. I'm going to tell you to start within, let's start within the Meg image, okay? Now this Meg image is going to be included in the file. So if I do start to see my PNGs and my SVGs, because right now I think this is technically an SVG. If I do start to see these things surface for sale, then I won't be including these type of things in the templates, okay? So just, y'all help me keep an eye on this type of stuff. All right, so I will show you what she looks like without any of the coloring, okay? So you might have sneakers that go well with just that look, where they're natural, well, not natural, but the red hair from the original image. All right, so what I have is an overlay layer for the shirt and then also for the hair. And then you also have this color gradation for the outline. Now what we're going to do is create our own gradient look right now. We'll start with the one for the hair. So I'm going to go into our hair layer, and you'll see I have several options here. I have one with the gradient going one way, gradient going the opposite way, and you notice it's also changing her lip and her eye color. That's a solid color blue if you're matching like some cobalt blue sneakers. And then this is just showing you how you can change this up. So I'm going to leave these color variations in here for you. And as a matter of fact, these are already in the other gradient overlay. Yeah. So you have this we're in the multicolor colorway. You have that in your aurora green and psychic pink colorway. So I feel okay with changing these right now. All right, so I'm going to turn on this one, and I'm going to double click on the gradient, and we are going to make our own gradient right now. So I'm clicking on the pink, and let's say I'm going to go ahead and select the orange for that. And the middle color is the purple. I'm going to select the purple, click on my swatch, select that purple, and then the final color is that mint color. I'm going to select the swatch. Now this is just me playing with the gradients. You don't have to do her hair as a gradient. You can do her hair as a solid color, which I will show you. Now I'm going to play with this gradient because I really want to see how much of each color I want in the image. So this is me bringing in the orange a little bit at the top, and you see how you can play with, I can even duplicate this purple one. I can click it in another location and make it a little bit of a wider color. Closer you bring them in, if you make them really close, they have a stark transition. If you spread them out, they have, oops, I created a duplicate there. If you spread them out, they have a softer transition. So you play with that, you manage that, that is your deal to play with, okay? All right, and then here, let's say I want to, even though I'm doing all these different color swatches, I want to go ahead and put the blue in. Maybe I'll put the blue close to the green. Y'all know I am crazy about some gradients. And that yellow. That yellow is not represented, so I'm going to throw that yellow in. Let me make a swatch here, and I'm going to change that to yellow. And it's not as clean and light of a yellow as I would like, so I'm going to force it to where I want it to be. There we go. And now it's getting like that yellow and the purple touching. Those are complementary colors, so it looks a little nasty where it touches. So I don't like complementary colors to touch. I like to have my colors kind of flow, especially if I'm doing gradients. So purple next to the blue, the cyan, the orange next to the yellow flows well. And let's see, we have our green here. And if my green is kind of getting drowned out by the cyan, so I can add another green just to make sure that it holds its position. And I'm probably not going to use the gradient here, but I am definitely creating a gradient that has all of my colors in it. So I can go here, hit new, and now I have a gradient that has all of these colors in it. So for her hair, I might do her hair in one colorway and her shirt in another. So let's let the shirt be, let's do orange and purple for her hair. Let's take the green out. Or we can do orange and yellow. Let's see. And see, I was also changing her lips and her eyes. So I made it so that it kind of changes it all at one time, but you can literally go in and recolor these components individually if you want to. So I'm going to take, let me see if I want, ooh, I think I like the purple with the orange. I would have never guessed that color combination, never. So see how you can get your color inspiration from all kind of means? And then the yellow is still on here, but if I wanted the yellow to show up in her hair, I would have to kind of push it down a little bit. And honestly, I think I like it with the orange is just popping. I like the orange. And I think you don't expect the orange when it comes to the shoe. So let's keep the orange there. I got the orange to purple. And you can make this a new swatch. All right, say okay. So I lied. I am going to keep the gradient. I thought I wasn't. So let's see what a solid color looks like. Just for your curiosity, you can go to one of the solid colors, double click on that solid color, and the quick way to do this, if you want to just change a solid color, is just click. That's what she looks like with the purple hair, with the orange hair, with the green hair. That was a lot simpler, right? But if I would have showed you that first, you would have stopped right there. So yeah, this is a very easy way to just change out the solid colors. I like the green hair now. Definitely like the purple hair. And I'm liking the orange. I'm going to stick with my gradient, which is the orange to purple. All right, now same thing. We do the same thing with our shirt. You can choose a gradient. So we can double click on this pink to purple gradient we have here. And I don't have to recreate that gradient all over again. That's the one that we used for her hair. This is the one that we have selected as the cover all ranges of the shoe, right? So I can literally affect change now with just this one. Let's say I already used the orange and I already used the purple. So now I want to give these other colors a chance. Now the thing about it is this is covering the entire board. So the reason why you're not seeing all these colors is because they have to kind of be squished into a certain point to see them. Let me take out this extra green for right now so we can focus on what we're really seeing. And see how it's sort of coming in here now? And maybe this one, I want to see the green and the blue. And that green gets overpowered by this cyan quite a bit, so I'm going to kind of force it to have a little more presence by creating another swatch of it. So I got my yellow, I have my green, and I'm pushing my blue in a little bit. Now normally your sneakers will probably only have about 3 colors, so you should be good on this. I'm just debating whether I want the green and the yellow or what. I'm going to leave the yellow in there. I think it's working. And this is one of those rare color combination tees anyway. So this is one of the hardest to do. And then we have a couple that aren't so hard to do. All right, so we have our little gradient color overlay there. Again, you can change it to a solid color. Let's turn on the blue, and let's just say we wanted to select, maybe not even one of our swatches. Let's say we wanted her shirt to match this cyan here in the sneaker. Bam, that is done. You can click anywhere, and you can actually hover, and you see how the color changes as I hold over it. And that's just because of the way I have it pre-set up to play with the layers underneath it. But no, I really like purple. But that mint is really, you know what? I think I'm gonna stick with the mint here. Because when I have it as so I'll put the mint color as the main color, and then I'm gonna overlay it with the yellow. Bam, that works. Okay, because that mint color wasn't coming through as well as I wanted it with just the gradient by itself. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so next step. So we have her hair colored, we have her shirt colored, and now we want to change this stroke or this outline on her. So let's double click on the stroke. And again, we have the gradient there. We can select our pre-made gradient. Oh, that looks so pretty. I didn't expect it to be that pretty. So we're ready to go with that. If you want to see more of a color, like I don't see the purple right now. I do see the cyan a little bit. I can pull it in and see that I may need to kind of squish these colors in a little bit so I see more of the color that's on the outside. And see how that purple is starting to come in just a little bit right there on her elbow. And I'm just squishing this in to give me a little more play with my purple. Come on, purple, come on through. There we go. Beautiful. You can also change, right now it's on radial, but you can change the angle, how those colors come in. And then that also changes your dominant color. All right, the scale makes the scale of the gradient really, really tight. So now I'm seeing more of my purple now because my scale is tighter. If I bring it all the way out, you may only see a couple of colors. So I'm gonna bring it in so I see more of that purple, because that purple is definitely hitting for me. I like it. All right. Looks good. And if I want to now, I can save that gradient as a different gradient. So now you see all these different variations you have. All right, so we're good on that. Have the gradient change there. Then we can also change the gradient of the word savage. So I'm just right clicking, and then that gives me a hint to what layer I want to be touching. You don't want to be fishing through your layers over here, especially for one of these files like this. It's a little more complicated. So I clicked, right clicked, chose my word savage, and here it takes me to that layer. I'm going to double click on the effects, and lo and behold, there's a gradient overlay with a gradient outline. I told you I love my gradients, right? Let's scroll down and let's grab one of these gradients, and you can pretty much play with it. Click on the different ones and see, like I said, this shoe has a lot of color. So we can keep it multicolor like this, which I think like kind of looks rockerish. I like it. So I'm going to stick with this one. All right, so the full multicolor one I'm going to stick with. Say okay. And then what I'm going to do, oh, you know what? I forgot the outline. So for the outline, I'm going to, and I'm looking for my stroke. I have a white stroke. Looks like I have two white strokes. So that first white stroke is on the inside. So the second white stroke is 16 points and is on the outside. The third stroke is my gradient stroke. I'm going to click on it here, and I'm going to choose the same gradient. However, instead of letting it go the exact same direction, because it looks like it doesn't have no visual interest to me, I'm going to make it go the opposite direction. And you can even, it doesn't even have to be exactly the opposite. Keep playing with it. See, I'm rotating this angle, and it's kind of giving me a little more visual interest because now the orange is touching where the blue was and that sort of thing. To me, it just looks better. And then you can change your scale here too. So I can bring it in real tight and show all of the colors and see that angle that I'm at. I'm going to bring it all the way up to 90 so you can see this for real. So when I'm bringing it up to 90, you can clearly see where those gradations are occurring. See how it's getting real tight in the center and then it's expanding? And then if you change the angle a little bit, it just makes it look a little more visually interesting to me. All right, now this one, let's say if the second stroke you didn't want to do white, you want to do black, grab black and see what it looks like. I think the white makes it look fresh, but sometimes you may want to use your black. I'm going to take back the white though. All right, white just gives me that summery vibe. All right, so okay to that. Now the rest of them are pretty much doing just color changes, color overlay changes. So I can take the IMA, double click on the effects, and I'm going to go to the color overlay. Now before, like this was our color 3, right? So if I want to just keep it a pattern, I will select this one, go to my color 3, and see how I like it. So the color 3 is not really touching color 1, so I'm okay with that. That's my good contrast. And then for each of the words here, so if I right click and I click on classy, classy is actually in the group. If you looked, it says color 1 text. So if I click on this group, everything that has the color 1 text, which is nasty and classy, you see that? If I double click on the FX, then I can do my color overlay, click on my swatch, and change those colors accordingly. Easy peasy. All right, let me start to close up some of these too. Same thing, color 2 text. I don't even have to find it now. I'm in this mode. Was my purple previously, so I'll double click on my FX. Color 2 is swatch number 2. So I go to color overlay, click my swatch, and make my selection. And I'm trying to think, do I really like this as my color 2? I might change my color 2. I think I'm going to change my color 2 to be a little bit darker. We'll leave it alone. I already set my swatches. All right, so there's color 2. I'm going to stick with my swatches. I'm committed now. All right, so say okay. And then for color 3, click on the FX for color 3. And we'll go to the color overlay, click that swatch. And I kind of blocked myself out a little bit, but I can grab my swatch over here. Oops, I lied. That's not color 3. Oh, that is color 3. What I didn't do, my color 1 was supposed to be this color. But I think I'm going to make this one color 3. There we go. It works, it works. Okay, now I have the words, and the reason why acting stupid was happening is not in this lyrics text is because it's above everything. So I can't change it all as one group like I've changed the other colors. So I have to right click on acting stupid, look for the word acting stupid, bam, there she is. Double click on the FX and choose what color you want it to be. I'll probably choose orange, and maybe you can do alternate, so maybe acting stupid can be orange, and then what's happening, double click on the FX there, and maybe let this one be the purple. Color overlay, and then the purple. Just showing you can switch it up. You don't have to follow exactly the pattern that I did. And let's say that you're not feeling this gradient here. We'll double click on the FX. And I can always go back to what I had before. But if you're not sure about that and you want to see what it looks like as a less complicated gradient or even a solid color, then just play with it. And you know, I'm going to leave it I'm gonna go to cancel. I'm gonna leave it with the multicolor until we get the background changed, because then that might change your mind. So for the background, we can right click here. We have a background. We have two gradient fills. So I'm gonna go to the first gradient fill, and this is my pink to white, and then I have that aqua color to white. I'm gonna double click on the pink to white. And before, my pink color was my orange. So I'm gonna see if I wanna keep that consistent. No, yeah, pink color was orange. So we'll see if we want to make it go from orange to purple or what we want to do. So that's our orange. And you can see it's kind of, watercolored out, so it's not going to be a pure color anyway. But you can see what it looks like with the different colors. And I'm thinking about leaving my mint to the top. So maybe we'll do the mint with the purple. Bring those colors out. All right, so I'm going to say okay to that. And then let's see, for the teal color now, let's change that to my mint color. And then that mint to purple, orange to purple. You can even do purple to purple. You don't have to do my contrasting colors. So I'm going to go back to my video and see what y'all have to say. Un momento. Close that window down. Make sure I'm not talking to myself too. Okay, so y'all say blue. And you know what? This whole time, I forgot. I ain't gonna lie, I'm so used to talking to myself when I'm making these videos. I forgot y'all was here to give me input. So, oh, thank y'all for all the likes too. I love y'all so much. Okay, so you say blue. Blue for... Oh, we didn't even think of the blue because we don't have it set up as one of our swatches. Let's do it. The blue, so that cyan color there. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. So if I wanted to be a little more striking, I can brighten it up a little bit, make it a little bolder. But yes, that cyan brought it to life, baby. I like it. So, Kendra, since this is technically your shoe, you get to be the designer here. You hear me? So tell me the top to bottom color, what color you want to be at the top and what color you want to be at the bottom. So you have the blue. I'm going to give you the options to put blue, or you can put cyan. So this is a cyan. You have the orange, the purple, or the mint color. And I'm looking out for you. I know it's a little bit of a delay. So I know you said blue, so we're gonna go blue to what? So we'll keep blue here. I like that. And then for the bottom color, let me show you your options. Let me show you, and this is what you don't do. You don't show your customers all your options because then they'll be sitting there all day. Can you just try it with this? Yeah. I love my customers, but I don't love to spend all day with them. Okay, and I'm bringing this gradient up a little bit so we can see more of it come into the graphic. Because keep in mind, this is a 4X shirt, up to a 3X shirt. So anything smaller, we're not going to see all of these effects come in unless we adjust it. So I am pulling this purple up so we can see it more. So we have that as purple. Move this out of the way. Orange. That's our purple. That's our mint. Oh, that mint with the blue. But we have to keep in mind too, this is supposed to match the shoe. So we got to make sure that we're kind of pulling it together. All right, Kendra, you here with me, love? Oh, let me close out this Facebook. That's what's slowing me down over here. Sorry, loves. Okay. And then what we can do, like we can make our lips be the orange so we don't have to follow this pattern because this pattern is set up for a 3-color pattern. So, okay, mint on the bottom. Okay, so I read your mind, girl. All right. So we have mint on the bottom. We have the blue at the top. Is that making you happy right now, Kendra? And now I'm going to play with these color splashes, right? And this is how we can bring in some of these other colors. Oops. Okay, I changed it a minute. I'm good. I was just clicking on stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to right click on one of these color splashes and see it says paint splatter color 1. And I'm in what layer? I'm going to open up my paint splatter group. So see how it selected color 1 for me? All right, so color 1, I'm working with the cyan up there. So I definitely want it to be a color that's not cyan. Maybe I want to try for the color overlay, click that swatch, and let's try that orange. So we can start bringing in some of those other colors from the shoe. So I've got the orange. I'm gonna say okay, just see what it looks like. Color 2, I'm gonna double click. Color 2, let's bring in that purple. And then for color 3, or technically I'm going backwards, so for color 1, let's bring in the mint. Mint. And instead of the pink, let's try the purple, but we can do one of the colors we've already done too. Because that purple mint, let me see what's going on with my orange. But I'm going to show you something too. When I have these watercolor and it's not really doing exactly what you want it to do, like it's not as bold. So I have my orange here, but let's say I want the orange to be a little more vibrant. I can take this layer with the color 2 already on it, duplicate it, and you'll see that it becomes a little more opaque. See how that stands out a little more? And then I only have the color splashes at the top. So this is giving me kind of like Fruity Pebbles vibes, right? Oh, I forgot about the yellow. Yes, you guys are keeping me on point. Okay, so let's say we want to add a whole nother color. So I have an option to do 3 colors here. Let me show y'all how to just, put these templates on steroids. I'm just gonna right click on color 3 and I'm gonna duplicate color 3, right? And that happened to be this little mint color, but I'm gonna change that to yellow. So we'll go to our color overlay and then I'm gonna pick the bright yellow from her shirt. Okay, we are really like making Fruity Pebbles over here and I'm loving it. This is making me want some Fruity Pebbles. All right, Control T, we're gonna transform this. First thing, we're gonna move it around just to see where that color is. And then I'm going to right click and flip this horizontal because I don't want my splashes to look exactly like the splashes I just dragged. So I will do things to them. I will make them bigger, smaller, rotate them, whatever I have to do so it doesn't look exactly the same. And now y'all know my secrets. All right, so yellows, and so now we have all of those colors up top. And then forget the lips right now. As a matter of fact, just so we understand the context of our selection right now, I'm going to turn off the lips for just a moment so we can see how our colors flow, because this is a lot of colors in one space. So I have lips in the foreground, lips in the background. So how are we liking this colorway right now? I'm thinking now to see things in full perspective. The Savage, I kind of now don't like with so many colors in it, but Kendra, you let me know. Do you like the Savage with the full range of colors in it, or do you want to see it out? And I'll just show you. I'm asking these questions like you're just going to imagine it. Don't do that to your clients. Don't just ask them stuff because they will come up with some stuff for you behind, okay? So I'm going to, instead of demolishing the gradient overlay I've already made, I'm going to do an addition, and it's going to duplicate this gradient overlay. Okay, so I can turn off my old one, and now when I play with this new one, it's not going to mess me up. But I'm thinking, since you like the blue to the mint so much, maybe even the yellow, I'm going to kill this orange. And already that's making me feel better about life. What about you? Because the orange is in her hair, so it's in there, it's still popping, but I don't know what it was about it. Kind of, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Just reduce those colors. So right now we have the yellow, the teal, the blue, and the purple, which we haven't really established yellow and the cyan as our colors, but we've been using them the whole time. So hey. And I'm liking this mint color. And the other thing is when you see the shoe going, you're always going to see that front of that shoe first because that's what you're going to see while you're walking, right? So definitely that mint color has to be like key in this design. And we don't really have any black in this design. We have a little bit of a drop shadow and that's adding the black, but you can add black as a color too. But I think it looks nice and fresh with the white. So if we're liking this colorway more, and you bring the mint in a little bit, bring the cyan up a little bit, and see if we like the purple or want the purple out. Because one thing about it, I don't think we have enough of the purple. So I think I'm going to change that with her hair. I'm going to bring more of the purple in. So I'm thinking I'm going to save the purple. Because I feel like we are giving the other colors a little more than we are. Yeah, let's try that. And then for the stroke, of course, we had a gradient for that one too. And the stroke has the orange in it. So the stroke has all the colors in it, honestly. But you can take out, let's say you want to take out the colors that we just used. And maybe let the outline be the colors that we didn't get a chance to use on the inside part. Bam, it solves that problem. Like I said, Kendra, when you gave this shoe to me and you said, hey, if it's too difficult, choose something else, I think that's why I said this was perfect, because you get a chance to see how, you know, creative you can be with something without having to follow the 1, 2, 3 steps. Okay, cool. So the stroke with all the colors, bam, there we go. All right, so I think that's starting to tie everything together really well. So now we can bring in our lips again. And I want to show you that I have the photo version here, which was how it was originally sent to me, but this is the version with the cartoon. So we're going to stick with that one, but you have the photo version too. And all you have to do with the photo version is click on the stroke, double click on that stroke, and change it to your tried and true multicolor gradient, and bam. There you go. So I'm going to turn Cartoon Mag back on. There she goes. All right, so bringing the lips back. So we have lips in the foreground, and we can change each of those. Double clicking on the color overlay. So whatever lips are in that folder are the ones we're going to change. So now I feel like we need some orange. We need some orange back in the building. We kind of, you know, took a little orange out of the top here, so we need to ground it with a little orange. And that orange on that mint looks proper. All right, let's double click on the effects for color 2. Let's see what we want to do with that one. That's the purple. Let's choose the purple there. That works. So I'm just trying not to touch light colors. Like I don't want to put mint there because it would be touching the mint background too close to the mint shirt. So I'm just playing with arbitrarily changing this stuff. There is no rhyme or reason. Well, technically there is. I don't like my colors to touch. Like some people don't like their food to touch. Like I don't like the same colors touching the same colors unless I'm going for a monochrome theme. All right, so these are the teal. So let me show you what I'm talking about. See if I put the mint on the mint. If I'm going for a monochrome or a subdued look, I like that. But when I'm going for a bold look, then I want to be, I want it to be different. So let's see if I choose the yellow here or the cyan. Yes, that cyan is really a nice color. I'm liking it. Okay, and then you of course have the background lips too. We can turn those back on now. So I have the foreground lips. Let's go. Let's close up the paint splatter. And now that I turned them off, I have to find them. Lips background. There we go. And these are the same colors. They're just set to a lower opacity, like a 46% opacity. I can bring them all the way up to full color if I want them to be full color. But I have the opacity down because I want it to look like they're kind of, you know, more in the background. And I have it somewhere around 41. Same thing, double click on the effects and change those effects. So maybe, which one am I changing right now? And this is changing all of the ones that are pink. So let's go, maybe change that one to the orange. And let's double click the effects for color 2. You can turn the color overlay off and on to see what you're affecting. And I don't think we made any yellow. You see, too light a yellow, you don't really see it. So we want a little bit bolder yellow. That works for me. And we have one more color. And that is the teal there. Let's make that one. Let's bring that cyan back. There we go. Well, all right. And now that we want to get it like a final look, I'm going to turn my guides on, make sure nothing is outside, because if you're printing this, more than likely you're going to be printing this on small shirts. And I'm going to suggest if you're doing this for kids, that's why I chose this image, because the other one was a little more risque. You probably want to take out the sassy, moody, nasty. I don't, know if you want to put that in there, like, that's up to you, but you may want to take that side off, and you absolutely can by going to it, turn off the eyeball, and boop, there you go. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is turn off my swatches. Right click, turn off the eyeball for my swatches. I'm going to turn off my guides here where it says turn off for printing. Those are my guides. And what do you think? Did we kind of do our shoe justice, or do you need to see any changes? Awesome. I get fire. Get fire on them. Like Kevin Hart says. Awesome. Okay. Great. Yes, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to review this later. Okay. Awesome, awesome. All right, so now that we've got this done, the next, I'm going to do 2 more variations. Okay. So the thing that can happen though is I'm going to tell you these files can get really huge by duplicating these groups. I want you to know that. As a matter of fact, I didn't pay attention. And I'm going to save as so I can tell you the difference. I'm going to do this as -2. I can tell you the difference between the last file and this one. So I can tell you how you don't need to be doing life, like building on these Photoshop templates and driving your computer crazy. Okay. All right, so let's do next. I'm going to turn off this shoe, and as a matter of fact, I can take this shoe now and put it inside of my multi-colorway because that shoe goes with that colorway. So we have the sunset colorway, just to show you that I already did a variation for that one. So when I have this multicolor, and this will be fun for like anything rainbow themed. And keep in mind, this says savage and all these other words. You can make this say anything. You can make I'm a say happy and savage say birthday or congratulations graduate or RIP granddad. Imagine that this is not just a template for savage, and that's what I'm trying to teach you all. The value of the template surpasses like the way that it is presented to you. Okay, so I'm going to do that as a session when they like just tell y'all to randomly give me a photo and a theme, and I will make like a remembrance template work for a birthday template. And I know those are two totally different periods of life, and both of them are celebrations of life, right? We can take one template and convert it to a totally different template, totally different look and feel, and it's the same elements. Okay? Yes, thank you, Chrissy Koo. Changing those templates up will give you life, and it challenges you creatively because it challenges you to look at something one way and convert it to something else. All right, yes, Kendra, you got to get going in Photoshop, girl. You got these ideas. They're great, and I know you can put power to what you can give to your customers, okay? And that's what this is all about, is giving you tools so that you can stand out against your competitors. And that's why I be telling y'all not to sell the stuff for cheap or to share it, because you are paying for the tools to help you stand out against your competitors, okay? That's what this is. All right, so let's see what our next shoe is. Ooh, I have some PT ones. Bam. I'm gonna bring that one in. Now for this one, I'm not gonna take my time like I did for the last one and cut out the shoe. I'm gonna do it real rough just because I don't want the background in it at all. All right, so just real rough. I'm gonna select this outside. And I say that, and then I get all in here like, let me clean this up a little bit. I can also take this tolerance up to like a 21 is usually standard, and it selects more pixels, but it also, if your background is not that different from your foreground, like see how I selected my whites here, it can mess you up a little bit, but that's cool. So I'm not going to take my time with this one. I said I was not going to take my time, so let me hold down Alt because I want to not take in this part here. And then I'm just going to do a real quick select and mask cleanup, and you'll see how it's going to clean up those edges for me just a little bit. Select and mask. I'm going to go increase my smooth. I said this isn't going to clean this up. You really need to take your time and clean that up a little bit if that's what you wanted to do. And I'll bring my shift edge back to 0. I'm going to invert this. It's still not clean. And it's like it actually bothers. I don't know if y'all notice this about me, but it bothers me to leave stuff raggedy more, and it takes me more time to accept something raggedy than it does to just do it the right way. But I'm trying to teach myself how to focus on the more important things. So I just did a quick layer mask there, and it did all right. It did okay. You can also bring these in to remove BG. Duh, I guess I should have showed you that too. Un momento, por favor. Let's do remove.bg. And you know what, I'm logging in, but I would not use my credits for the shoe unless this is going to be my mock-up. I'm selling, you know, this product. This is my mock-up, not just for a client. Because you can use up your credits if you're paying for these just to cut out a shoe that they don't care that that shoe is in the mock-up. Okay. Just gotta remove BG, the window, and I'm going to drag the shoe from the window. So this is the other shoe. So I've already cut out one. See how much better that cut that out? Saved me so much time. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one because it is bothering me that it didn't cut out too clean. And sometimes you'll notice that it did the same thing, like where it sees white, it'll just cut it out. But this looks good. I'm not even gonna download the full resolution. I'm gonna download the free resolution so it doesn't use up my credits. We're all to the good. And then I think I was sent this photo as well. All right, so now we can close out of that and get into our color matching. I'm gonna go ahead and drag the images from my folder, 1, 2, and 3, drag them onto my artboard, hit enter, 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna go ahead and rasterize each of these. Normally I won't. Well, let me get it to the size that I want them, because once you rasterize them and they're no longer smart objects, you will not be able to recover pixels anymore. So if you rasterize it at a small image, if you try to blow it up, you would be making it worse for yourself. But I have these shoes huge, so I'm not afraid to rasterize them right now, just so I don't have too many smart objects in my file. And then I can get rid of the one that I cut out, because remove BG just did better than the human operator in a fraction of the time. So shout out to remove BG. Maybe they'll shoot me a couple of coins for referring them as much as I've been referring them lately. Okay, so we're gonna stick with the shoe that we're playing with at the moment. Bring it to the front. And let's go ahead and change our swatches. And before I get started, I want to make sure I don't change my psychedelic pink. Let's duplicate that group. Turn off the previous layer. So when I give you this, it's not going to have all these colorways in it. The way that I showed it to you is the way the template comes. I think it comes with 2 different colorways, okay? Because y'all don't want this big old file. I'm telling you that now. All right, so let's go ahead and turn off the shoe. And we'll call this one, I don't know what the name of the shoe is, but let's just call it navy, red, and orange. I'm going to right click on the shoe here. And go ahead and delete that because I don't need that shoe. And let's change our swatches. Swatches, color 3. I have 3, 2, 1. Maybe I should make 1, 2, 3. What do you think? Oh no, I have them like this because that is color 3. That's what was confusing me, because I keep going 3, 2, 1 instead of 1, 2, 3. Oh well, the color is what it is. This is just a palette for us to get inspired by. So let's double click on the effects, color overlay, click on that swatch. Let's let the red be the main color. And do you want to see how many reds there are in this image? Look at them reds changing. You can see that? So you can get tripped up just on one color. So I'm going to choose a color that I feel like represents that collectively really well. That's my red. Go to my effects here for color number 2, color overlay instead of the purple. And I'm going by which color stands out more or which color contrasts more. So the red to the blue, I think my top and my bottom color are more or less my contrast color. So the one in the middle is usually my little accent color. So I'm choosing this orange, and I'm just trying to make sure that I'm choosing a good orange there. And finally, number 3, or in my case, this is color number 1. Let's do the navy. And I'm just being very particular about the navy that I select because I want it to be rich, but I also want to make sure it's not anywhere near these purples. If you see your magenta be 80 or above, that means you have too much, you're going to have purple, period. Okay. If you really want to be sure, you like, I'm doing 100% cyan right now. And then magenta, I'm going to show you the difference between a 90. It looks about the same, right? But I have cyan at 100 and a magenta at 90. It is basically, it has more magenta in it than is necessary, and it's probably going to cause you problems with printing. So if you get a chance to choose your colors, let's say we go to 78, sometimes it looks a little bit duller, but it is not going to be near purple at all. And another thing you can do is you can use your hue cue over here to make sure that you're not, let me show you a difference. This is blue too, right? This is actually blurple because you're so close to the magentas here that you're going to have problems. And when you print, I don't care whether you're using an ICC profile or not, that's just risking it. It's risking getting into that blurple zone. Don't do it. And then you also see there's a caution symbol here. If I clicked on that, see what it did? It brought me into a more safely subdued zone, but I'm still close to that magenta up there. So I'm just giving y'all some tips on these colors because I know y'all give me questions all the time about colors. And I know it's a big deal. So I'm trying to choose a good, strong navy out of this image, but I am more likely going to adjust it. So I'm going to bring my cyan up to 100. I'm manually adjusting this. I'm making sure that my magenta is not above 80. I would say just 80 because I don't want blurples. So I'm good on that. So I have my 3 colors here, and then there is some black in here. So if you want to put black in it, this would be an opportunity. So let's do this one. Let's not put white in this one, right? We don't have white. Well, there's a tiny bit of white on the back of the shoe, but other than that, there's no white. So let's do this backwards this time. I'm going to change the background color first. Okay, so I'm going to right click and I see background, I see the paint splatters, and I see my gradient fills. I'm going to my gradient fills, and for the pink, I'm going to click here and I'm going to change it to red. And say okay to that red color there. And keep in mind, like I said, this is and you know what? I'll probably show you how to, I'll show you how to take that down too. Because I want you to see more of your pure color. And this right now has this watercolor going through it. So it is definitely lightening it up a little bit, making it look more pink than it needs to be. So for this white, instead of white, now I'm going to choose black. And we'll see some things happen here. I'm going to kind of scale this back a little bit. Let's say okay. Now it's fading, it looks like it's fading to transparent, but that second color is black now, and I'll show you why that's important in just a little bit. Same thing with the top color. Let's change that. The blue. We'll bring it in a little bit so it's much stronger towards the top. And then instead of white, let's make it fade to black. You see, already we're getting a totally different look. And that's why I wanted to change the background first, because I knew I wasn't keeping white in this design. And we can keep white in the words to make it pop off the background, but I don't want white in the background. All right, so another thing that's making this look lighter is that we actually have, now this is my my mask that I have on here. So if you're going to print this as a 13 by 19 design, this kind of helps, gives you that idea. So I'm disabling the mask. What I want to disable right now is I have this kind of grunge watercolor feature. I want to disable it right now, so I get my pure colors. Now, there's a couple of things you can do. If you want to keep this color on here, I would suggest if you want your pure color, let's do something here. Let's add, I'm going to add a new layer. Bring it above that mask, and then let's do, as a matter of fact, do a layer, new fill layer. Let's do a gradient. And instead of white, instead of fading to transparent, we're going to fade it from one color to another color. And these are your default options here. So instead of white, I'm going to make it go from blue. Nope, the red is at the bottom. the red. And something's a little funny about this red too. It's a little pink. So I just fix that, and let me grab, I'm going to copy this hex code because I'm going to change my color swatch before I get really heavy into making all that red. I'm going to copy that hex number. If you didn't see me do that, you see this number down here, that's your hex code. That is unique to every color that your screen or your monitor is going to produce, and that you can print. So copy, I'll say okay there. And I just remember that I have it copied. And then for the secondary color, we're going to grab the blue. I'm going to say okay here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put black in the middle, because when blue and red have a gradient and they touch one another, it makes purple. And I don't like that. So I'm going to put black in the middle. And then I can bring my red in a little more if I want it to be more intense down there, more intense up top. Say okay. And right now it's going, you know, at a 90-degree vertical gradient. That's cool. But now I want to drag this outside of my layer. And I meant to drag it to where I get those double lines. So this is it, pure color. And some of you may want your stuff, you know, full color. By all means, do it. But what I'm doing is I'm just bringing the opacity down a little bit, because I want to see what this looks like darker, but still have that grungy element to it. And you can even play with your blend modes here. I have it on what, darken, take it down. I'm hitting the down arrows. So multiply, I like multiply. I like it, I like it. Now the problem here is that my paint splatter now would need to be above this layer. I keep putting it in my text layer. There we go. So then my paint splatter could be the pure colors. And maybe that would have worked better for the other one too. The one where I said it looked like Fruity Pebbles, because it would have been more of a strong color there. All right, so yeah, I think I'm liking that. And then remember, I said I was going to change this color swatch here. Double click on the effects, go to my color overlay, go to my swatch, and see right here where this hex code is? I'm going to Control V. That means I'm going to paste that color, and it looks mildly different, but I just know my color formulation, it was more towards the pinks there, and I just want to avoid that and get it more towards that pure red. But so far, so good. I'm thinking that for the splashes here, let's do the color 1 paint splatter now. And I'll open up my paint splatter folder so I can see it. And let's see what color we're going to choose. Now this one is Vana. So Devana, if you're here, then definitely let me know what colors you want to see. And I'm just looking at y'all's comments right now. So yeah, if you have trouble printing navy blue, I know exactly what you're talking about. I have played with and been played plenty of times when it comes to colors, especially my blues and my reds. So I am a stickler for color, and I hope not to steer you wrong on any of that. But whatever ink you're using, I can tell you how to get the best results as I think you should get with that ink, based on if they tell you there's no ICC profile. And let's say you print it with no ICC profile and your blues are still turning purple, you're using color, you're using Photoshop as your color management, then it does require an ICC profile. There's no way in the world somebody can tell you it doesn't require ICC profile, and it prints purples instead of blues, and it prints like oranges or pinks instead of true reds. So if that's the case, yes, it needs a color profile, or that ink doesn't have a wide gamut, meaning that it doesn't have a wide selection of hues that it can produce is very narrow. So if you try to print a really intense red and it just, no matter what your settings are, you can't get to it, it may be the ink, okay? So it's not always how you're printing, what settings you're using. So that's why I say once I get this ink out to you all, I'm going to be very hands-on about your color management. As a matter of fact, the people that purchase the ink first are going to get to sit in for a live session where we set up your printers and set up your ink for free. Okay, that's going to be like the first set of people that we roll out, because I want to make sure that you're on the right foot. I don't want you wasting up a lot of time, a lot of ink, a lot of paper and shirts just trying to get color formulation right. So I will definitely be on the lookout for you all. Then on top of that, there are people who need help troubleshooting even with the ink you have. Hey, if you need that kind of tech support, that's what the hourly support is for. I will help you with whatever you have. Just understand that you waste a lot less time when I kind of know what you're working with, okay? All right, so let's get it on. Let's see, color overlay, what are we doing here? So instead of the teal color here, let's grab us that orange. Yes, I'm liking it already. So before, I think we would have, and we're going to end up using the red and the orange. And then we may even pull the third color in as the black, because whatever it is, we need to contrast the blue. So let's do the red. Then we'll do the orange. And then we'll do the black. There's a black we should barely see. And we can choose a black from the shoe, or we can just create our black there. So I'm liking that already. I'm feeling like the orange isn't coming enough over here. And a lot of this is just bleed area, so I'm probably being a little too hard on myself. But let me take that color too, Control T, and I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit so I get some of it over here on the sleeve. This is all bleed area out here. As a matter of fact, let's turn on these guides so you can see what I'm talking about. Turn on those guides. You can see a 3X is going all the way out to here. So really your paint area is more here. So you may even want to add some more splatters or duplicate the splatters, move them around. That's totally up to you. Okay, so that is what it is, and let's change our graphics. So now I'm not going to go so slow. I'm just going to go with what it is, okay? Right click, Savage. T-Pain says, is this template created from scratch? I created it from scratch. I did not show you how to create it from scratch. But no, I'm not even going to lie and say I will. What I will start doing is showing you all more created from scratch videos, because I used to do that back in the day when I first started the channel, and y'all didn't want to see that. Yeah, it was a little complicated. So I switched over to doing these, the template edit videos, because these can be complicated enough as it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, so I'm double clicking on Savage there, going to my gradient overlay. I'm gonna switch this up, and you know what I forgot to do? I should have changed. Let me do this real quick. The gradient overlay that I did for that gradient fill, I'm gonna double click it. Remember how I told you you could save them? I'm gonna go ahead and save that one so I don't have to do it over and over again. So right click on Savage, double click on effects. Let's go to the gradient overlay, and that way we can just select our red to blue. And here I want my blue to show a little more, so I'm going to bring it in a little tighter. And you know what I'll do for this one? For this one, I'll show you the non-gradient version. How about that? How about that? All right, so let's go ahead and instead of a gradient overlay, let's turn off the gradient overlay. Let's do a color overlay, so you can see how it looks, because some people don't like, you know, when I have all my little extras in there. So if you like the flatter color look, let's try that. So I'm going to do red just because it's going to contrast with the navy. Bam, there she is. Let's say okay. For the stroke, instead of the gradient, go to color. And now it's a solid color. Let's go to, let's see, what do we want? Do we want that orange? Do we want the blue? Or maybe even the black. I think the orange looks good. Y'all let me know otherwise. Okay, so orange there. Now for the IMA, that's a solid color. Double click on that FX. Let's do the color overlay. And now we've got a little bit simpler color palette. We have a couple of options, but I want you to kind of feel for what makes you happy. You know, I'm always saying, oh, that makes me happy. All right, so I'm good with that. Or I'm saying I'm good with that. That makes me happy. I'm good with that. I feel like the guy that paints, I forget his name. Is it Bob Ross? Yeah, I feel like I'm coining my little expressions right now. All right, so I'm a Savage is good to go. We'll go with the classy color. So that's color 1 text, double click. And let's do color overlay. I'm gonna pick the blue first, orange or the red. Let's do the blue. I don't want my colors too close up there, so we'll roll with that. And it really is subjective. I'm using very little theory and mostly judgment, okay? Which could be considered one and the same. What you see and what you're comfortable with is more likely what the human eye is going to recognize and want to see. All right, so that's my orange. And then the next color is where the pink once was. Let's get that and make it red. Cool. And then what's happening, click on the effects here and let's make that. So I'll just put a drop shadow on it, which kind of made it pop, but that's up to you if you want to add drop shadows and all of that goodness. It is definitely your choice and option. So let's see, this one I'm going to go with the red because that one happened the furthest away. And this one I'll go with the blue. Color overlay, do the blue. All right, so now we get into changing up our main image here. I'll right click on our cartoon meg. And this time we'll do the solid colors instead of the gradient so much, okay? So let's do solid color for the hair. Just take off the gradient. The hair, let's turn on the blue, and then we'll double click here, and then I'll show you what it looks like with her with the red hair, which does look really hot. The orange hair and the blue hair. That blue hair looks really good too. I think red hair. Y'all let me know what you think. Red, and then let's do for the shirt. Just take off the gradient and let's do, I'll turn on one of the colors, double click on that color, and let's make it the blue. So the main colors of the shoe are the blue and the red. Makes sense. And then if we want to do a gradient for the stroke, we can, or we can do a solid color for the stroke. Let's double click on the stroke. Let's do the stroke gradient. I'm going to choose a gradient we already made up. And I'm going to bring in the red and the navy so that I see more of it. And I'm going to rotate so I can see where my navy is versus where my red is. You see that navy is showing up right there at the elbow. If I want more of the blue to show up, I'll just move my colors so I get more blue. And it's on radial right now, which means that if you start it with the same color that you're finishing with, that color will be more prominent. And then you can even, between this color, if you wanted to change that to the orange, you absolutely can. And then just make it really tight. So I'll take out that blue, make it really tight so that it barely shows the orange and mostly shows the blue and the red. So that's the gradient, and then let me show you that same thing you can do with stroke. And you don't even have to delete the other one. Just create a copy of it with the plus sign. Turn that stroke off, and then turn this one to color instead of gradient. And that white actually makes it pop out really well because we have a dark background now. But you can choose your color. You can make it orange. You can give it that red outline. You can even give it the blue outline. I think I'll let it be orange so that that orange kind of has a little peak in there somewhere. Oh, you know what, y'all? Your comments coming a little later. Were y'all saying red for the hair or red for the stroke? Let me know. So when y'all say a color, tell me, and this will help y'all too. This is good live session. So when you say the color, what do you want red? Red would be the color of the text, red hair, red stroke, which is what this outline is called. It's called a stroke in Photoshop. So let me know, Chrissy Poo and T-Pain, what were y'all talking about when y'all said red? Okay. And while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to check back in with y'all. See, we're going to move on to coloring these lips. So color 3 for the lips is down here. Lips background, and then I have my lips foreground. Lips foreground. There I am. So color 3 is the one that's pink right now. We're going to go ahead and make it red. There we go. Color 2 is the purple. We'll make that orange. And then color 3, we'll make that the navy blue. Oh, I lied. I already did 3. I guess it's 1. Let's make that navy blue. Bam, we're in there. Now same thing to the background lips. I don't even have to know where the background lips are, but I'm going to right click on one of the background lips and I see color 2 copy for the background lips. There we are. Double click on that effect. Since it was purple before, I think that's what we're going to choose for orange. Say okay. And the pink I think was red before. So let's see how the kiss. We're going to go to color 3. Change that to red. You see how you can kind of get that tone on tone there? Maybe I'll change it to the blue instead. Now this is going to look a little purple because it's less transparent, so I'm going to keep it on the red. It's less transparent. Might even make it a little darker. There we go. No, or I can make it my black. Just thought about that. But it's not going to be full black. It's going to be a lighter basically a watermark version of whatever color you choose. So I'm gonna just stick with the red. And then finally, this lip is color 1. It will make this one be the navy blue. Here we go. Oh, thanks. Speaking life, I'm the best. Well, I learn a lot as I go too, so I appreciate that. If you think I'm the best, hey, I'll take that. I'm not gonna turn down no compliment. All right, so what do y'all think so far? We good? We done? Are we done? Or are we done? Are we done? What is it? Am I finished? Am I done? I'm having to play with this one too much longer, but I'm gonna turn off the guides here, turn off the swatches, and bam, there's our other color variation. And we didn't use a lot of gradients on this one. This one's more solid color. I think we didn't use any gradients on this. Y'all should be proud of me. I didn't put y'all through the gradient challenge. Okay, so that's it. We done. And I can take the shoe off just so you can get an idea of what that looks like. Okay. Alrighty, Springy. Let's save, because I have not been saving as I'm going. And I do have one more shoe, so if y'all want to sit through it, I'll do one more color change. And let's time this one. So let's say this one is, because this is supposed to take about 10 minutes to change out, even though it's very complicated and it's all over design. So now I'm just going to get into it, okay? Thanks, Tanya. And Rona. All right, so now it's my challenge. So I talked y'all through it, and now let's do it. I'm going to bring this image to the front. So now I'm not going to be, not saying I'm not paying attention to y'all, but I'm just pretending that this is my client. They asked me to do something, and I'm just switching this out to make the most money in the least bit of time. So I'm going to right click, duplicate this group. So this is my customer standing right in front of me, and I got to get this done right now. So this one is going to be, colorway is going to be cyan, pink, and we'll still call that orange. All right, let's do it. So I'm cheating because my orange is already in there. Let's see. All I have to do is change my gradient here. And as a matter of fact, let me make sure that I turned off every other layer. Yep, okay. So I'm right clicking, go into my gradient field, double click on my gradient, and I'm just gonna haphazardly just go. So my main color, I'm gonna make this one pink. I'm not even making my swatches right now. This is how quick I'm going, which is a little, you know what, that's dangerous. Let me not teach y'all that way. Because if you turn these swatches on, they'll save you later. Because if you pick a different area of the shoe, you're gonna get a different pink. So let's go ahead and do this. Color 3 is gonna be my pink. So that way when I pick it one time, it's just in there like swimwear. There we go. That's my pink I wanna go with. Color 2, I'm going to keep that orange. I like it. Color 3. Let's go to our color overlay, and I'm going to choose the cyan color, which you have to be a little careful of. See how it's much darker down here at the bottom of the shoe? I think I'm going to choose a blue maybe from up here. Make it a little brighter. And if I knew what the name of the shoe was, I know it's an Air Max there, but I don't know how true that blue is. So I'm going to make it a little bit brighter. And this is where you can get into a little bit of trouble here. Okay, that works for me. And most of the time, if it's that hard for you to discern the color, your customer's not going to be too picky, but you will have those customers, just to let you know. Congratulations. You're going to have those kind of customers. All right, so I'm going to start this time again with the background. And I'll start with the gradient. So I'm going to right click on my board, go to my gradient fill, and now I feel more comfortable creating my gradient from the red. Now I'm going to change that to the pink. And it's on multiply right now, so I'm going to have to change it in 2 places. And then the color below, the blue. And then I am going to put the white back in the center now. I think that kind of lightens it up a little bit, makes it look more fun. And I will save. This is a new swatch. Got it. And then this is what it looks like as a solid color gradient, which some of you want to see that. So I'm not sure if you really, you know how I am about keeping things simple. It just doesn't feel right to me, but that's the simplest way you can do it, is just keep it a straight up gradient. Or bringing that gradient down to here. If I want that watermark look, I want to turn that on, I'm gonna go with that one. All right, so still have my balance and my flare. I can even turn that one back on, bring my opacity down if I want it to have just a little more off. Less off, more off. All right, so let's do our paint splashes. The red splatter. I'm gonna go to my background layer. I have to open that back up. And paint splatters here. Open that one up. Color 1. Double click. Make that one my color overlay pink. Take color 2. That's my orange. I'm going to keep that. And I gotta remember to either go top to bottom or bottom to top, because I keep confusing myself with this 1 and 2. And then I don't know if I want the black there or what. I think I kind of like the black there, either black or white. I'll let the black stay. All right, and let's do the I'm A. Double click, choose my color overlay. And choose my blue there. Savage. Double click that color overlay. Let's go with the pink. We can still leave the orange around it. That works. I love orange and pink together. They just really make a nice sunset kind of look. Let's see here. We've got I'm A Savage here. Let's do the classy. We'll do color 1. And my lyrics, I need to open that folder up. I see color 1 selected. Double click. We'll go with our color overlay, cyan. The bougie is color 3. Double click on that one. Let's make it pink. Okay, okay. And what else? The orange, we're going to keep orange. I'm liking that. This acting stupid is no longer going to be the navy. Let's make it the cyan. Bam. Now maybe for the hair, we'll go the blue route. Let's see, because last time we did the color fill, we did red. So we did a warm color last time. Let's do the cool color this time. But that pink looks so good too. Okay. I'm just drawn to warm colors. The orange even looks really good. I'm gonna go with the pink. Yeah. I don't know. I'll do what I said I was gonna do. I'll go with the blue. I'm really drawn to warm colors. It's really hard for me to pick a cool color over a warm color. Let's go with the shirt color fill. Maybe I'll get to do my pink there. Double click on that color, give it the pink. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. And then for the outline now, this time we have the orange. The orange sticks out. I'll leave that because I'm really, if this was a customer, you're trying to get through it as quick as you can because your time is your money. So color 1 for the lips. I think, let me go ahead and close up my cartoon layer. We have the lips in the background. Color 1 is the red. We'll change that real quick to the pink. And here's the other thing. You don't have to put the lips in there. If you take the lips off, it's less work. So if you show it without the lips and people like it, then you can take them off. You can be done. But I think it kind of adds a little visual interest to the bottom of the shirt. So color 3 is the red. I'm going to double click the FX and turn it to pink. All right, same thing with the blue, which I believe is color 1. Color overlay. There we go. I'll leave the orange. And now I'm going to add my background lips back on. So all I did was just turn that group off. Color 3 is the red, so we'll turn the red to the pink. And it's just good to mentally note. That's why I tried to put them in order. I guess it's in order 3, 2, 1. So everything that's one color, you know what you're changing out. Mentally, you can just do substitutions. And then this one we said we're going to keep the same. And then for color 1, we will be changing to the cyan color. Bam, done. I don't know if that was 10 minutes. Y'all tell me. I think it was somewhere around about 10 minutes. But definitely not what it would have taken you to design it from the scratch. All right, so I'm going to turn off these swatches. Put my shoe back on so we can see. And once again, we've done a sneaker combo. 9 minutes, hey! And I'm still talking through it. So you can imagine if you don't have to talk and tell people what you're doing, it can probably even go a little bit faster than that, okay? All right, so I think that's all the color changes. I think, was there one more? One más. Okay, so while I'm doing this next color change, I'm going to tell you all, because you're here and I know why you're here, because the ones that are still watching are going to get a deal. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to list this template for a limited time for $10. It will be literally for like an hour. That's it. So if you watch this, you're going to know about it. Don't tell anybody that didn't watch this, because as soon as that hour is up, I'm going to be taking their price up. So the idea is that the people who sit here and watch this and really give feedback and help me with creating these templates are going to be the ones that reap the benefits, okay? So literally, as soon as I'm done with this, I might take a bathroom break because I've had y'all sitting here for about 2 hours now. And then I will upload it online. As soon as it's online, it's going to be at a special price. But Chrissy Poo, you made it back just in time. We're talking about the template price. So it's going to be a special price only for an hour. And then once that special price time is up, I'll announce it to the group and, you know, let everybody know that it's for sale. Okay. So only you guys are going to get that special treatment. Okay. So let me go ahead and change this real quick. And this one doesn't look like a hard change. Well, you know, my keyboard really does not like the letter N. All right, let's double click, or not double click, duplicate that group. Now this one, I can show you something too. If you want to just change everything to like a single color scheme, because this is not a complicated shoe color combination. This is literally like gray and, or like, you know, silver, but it's going to be gray for you, and the blue color. So let me show you something here. Hopefully it works while I'm trying to show you. Let's do a layer, a new fill layer. I'm just going to do a solid color, okay? Just a straight up solid color. And I'm going to just choose a color from this shoe. And you see how all these different colors I'm getting from this one shoe? So if you have a shoe in front of you, that's probably going to be your best bet. And I have my monitor. My monitor is calibrated with a colorimeter, okay? So and most of you probably won't be able to do that because it's really expensive, and it's a tool that I bought years ago when I was matching sneakers. So I don't encourage you just to go out and buy that. But there are some things that you can do to calibrate your monitor. And I'm going to have that in a series coming up for our color series. Because once you want to get color right, we're going to go through steps to getting your monitor right, your printer right, your settings on Photoshop right. And once you have that system, we do not deviate from the system. We're going to have you on lock, okay? So anyways, I'm just changing this color fill here. And then I'm going to play with the blend mode to see if I can just knock this out the park with a blend mode, y'all. I think I'm going to choose hue. Oh, I have to turn something on though, huh? So what I'm trying to do is see how much of this I can change and cover with a simple modification. This simple modification is just a color fill layer. I changed it to hue. I could also change it to color. Hue I like a little bit better because where there is white and black, it will let white and black show. And then maybe all I have to do at this point, and I may just take this and bring this over my background. My background, my kisses. Oh, I know what it is. It won't work for my Cartoon Meg, but let me show you something for that. Because I want Cartoon Meg, I like the monotone look, but I want her skin tone to pop. So I'm going to go to my Meg, let's right click, go to our Cartoon Meg, and right now, this color overlay feature is working across everything. I want it to stop on my Meg. So I'm going to go to where I know Meg is, and I'm going to hold down Control and click on the thumbnail here. So it selected her image right there. Then I'm going to go up to, you know what, I might want her hair and her shirt to be the same color too. So if that's the case, Alt select shirt. Oops, my bad. I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm trying to show you how to, well, we'll do what we need to do. So let's go ahead, Control, click Meg. So I have Meg selected here. I'm going to go to this blue layer, and it automatically has a layer mask on it. And I'm just going to fill it in with black because black reveals and the white conceals. So now everything is blue except for the Meg part of the image. But let's say that I want it where her hair and her shirt is. Like I want the blue to come back. I can go to just Control D to deselect. I'm going to go to just her hair, Control, click that layer mask. So that's where her hair and her makeup color is. I can go to my layer mask here, and now I'm going to paint. I can do paint bucket. I'm going to paint white. Oops, I painted black. Change it over and paint white. And what it did was everywhere that I had selected before, now it brought the white mask back. You see that? Same thing with her shirt there. So I can go down to the shirt layer. Now I'm holding down Control, clicking the thumbnail where the mask is. I'm going back to my mask layer for the blue, and I want to conceal this area. I want to reveal this area for the blue. So I'm going to choose white. White's already selected as my foreground color. Paint that in, and bim bow, I brought her skin tone back. So that melanin is popping off of the blue. I have my blue tone shirt, and I did not have to change every single element of this design. Okay, so that it was good. I wasn't intending on doing that shoe, but I'm glad because I just showed you how you can quickly and easily do a monotone, um, not a monotone, a monochrome, a monochromatic design here. And where is this shoe? There we go. Blue shoe. All right, so blue shoe is done. And that probably took even less than 10 minutes. All right, so for Kendra, you're going to get the template for the free ski because she just said something that touched me today. She told me, because I told her to make sure her notifications were turned on for this video because she was really interested in this template. And I told her, just make sure you tune in today, turn your notification on. And she said, notification stays on. You feel me? Like it's always on. I stay ready for the content. I said, you know what? That's the right answer. I got something for you today. And that's why I asked her to upload a picture of a shoe that she would want to match. And of course it happened to be the multicolored 12 colorway shoe. But hey, sometimes y'all do stuff, it sticks out to me and it makes me want to return the favor for your support. So, all right, Kendra girl, just make sure that you message me and I will give you a coupon code to get the template for free. Now, how you size the picture doing Chrissy Poo, the control plus and minus is only zooming in and out. It doesn't actually size the image. It just sizes the preview, if that makes any sense. The view that it has on your screen. Control plus, I'm going to zoom in. Control minus, I'm going to zoom out. The size of my image is the same. So if you want to know how to change image size, you do that with image size. This is a huge file. This is a 36 by 44, which is how you have to send the file to me to print. And the resolution is 150 dpi, so it's not just a huge file for no reason. 150 dpi is all you need for sublimation. Look how big this file is, guys. This thing done jumped up to 102 megs. Usually these files are like 15, 16 megs, which is still large, but because I did all of these different colorways, basically it increases file size. So when you all get it, it's probably just going to have that one colorway that I showed you how to work with, that pink to the teal, and you'll get in that way. All right, so y'all have any questions? Oh, for the template, you can go to innatelab.com and then you can rewatch this video. As a matter of fact, if you save, I won't post this until that hour is up for the rest of the group. So if you save this, if you go to the top of the page right now, I'm sure it says like youtube.com and then slash whatever the URL is for this session, you'll be able to access this session immediately. Otherwise, it has to wait for YouTube to upload it. So when I share it with everyone else. So you'll have immediate and continual access to the template and to the video. So y'all can get started. Oh, so here's another thing. Let me show you. While you're here, let me show you how you can break this down to a 13 by 19. And I do this for every all over template now. And then I will also offer this as like if you never ever intend on doing all over prints, you don't even want to deal with that. I create a smaller version of it, which let me go ahead and do that right now. Duh, Deidre. Let me save this. And let me show you how this converts. So I'm going to take this one and just call this my blue. I'm going to put this into that folder. Turn off the sneakers. And let's see, it's cyan, pink, orange. I want to do a variation for my 13 by 19. So usually when I do these templates, I try to pick something different. Maybe I'll do the navy, blue and red. That looks different. Now let's go ahead and activate that. I'm just closing up some of these folders to make it smaller. Close up lyrics text. This is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to call this the background. And I'm going to activate this layer right here. Let me go Control 0 is going to zoom me into the limits of the paper. And I want you to see what happens when I turn this on. This is going to be automatically in your file. Of course, oh, I know what I need to do. I need it to apply to this too, but then I like this on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an option to have this mask also here. Replace layer mask, yes. The paint splatter. And I have my paint splatter on top because I wanted to make sure that I had that pure color there. Let's go ahead and do a layer mask for that too. Bam, bam. So we got that in there. And then the lips that are hanging off here, you can just turn off the background lips. Lips background, just turn them off. If you even want to keep the lips here. Now, usually when I create a 13 by 19 design, matter of fact, let me turn it back on. When I create a 13 by 19 design, I do move this stuff around a little bit. So just because you purchase a 13 by 19, you're not getting exactly this. I will manage it a little bit better. Like I might move space down or rearrange things a little bit because I'm not getting the full use out of my space here. One thing I can do, I can take my, oops, and take these 3 and link them. That way when I do Control T, oops, I didn't do exactly what I wanted to do. So I'm just going to keep these linked so that if I move one thing around, it moves all together. And I'm trying to think, what do I want to do? Because I'm saving this one as is for right now. I'm going to go File, Save As. And instead of all over, I'm just going to take all over off of this. So then this way people get to see it both ways. The flat 13 by 19 version and then the gradient all over version. And let's do, it's saving right now, so I'm trying to leave it alone. So now if you have the all over version, this is what you're going to have to do in order to make it look good for the 13 by 19 version. And you may want to offer both. If you have the option to do all over, of course you have the option to do the 13 by 19 as well. Oh yeah, Chrissy Poo, exactly. Yes, you can. I show y'all how to remix these templates all the time, like pulling elements from one template into another. This is one of my favorite things to do, honestly. Rather than recreate, I like to recycle, upcycle type of deal. And a lot of times that's how I am able to show you quickly how to do designs. Just mixing and matching the templates. All right, so I think it's finished saving now. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take these lips here. They're the background lips, but of course we're not gonna print really outside this 13 by 19 area. So I'm just making, even if the lips pop off of the frame a little bit, I like that look because it makes it look like it is multi-dimensional. But I wanna make sure that it makes sense in this scale. So I'm moving them around. And this is my 13 by 19 file now, so I'm not, I think I moved everything. I just wanted color 2 copy. You see how those are my orange ones? All right, and then I have my red ones hanging off here. Color 3. Control T. I'm doing Control T so I can transform these, bring them in. And I'm just, like I said, every time I do a 13 by 19, I do a little bit of editing. I almost never just straight up send y'all 13 by 19 because it's going to require a little bit of work. That blue right there, I'm probably going to create a copy of it. Put one here, Control T. Oh, there it goes. Control T, and I'm going to transform it to be a little bit larger. Take up some of the space down here. And now you may even want to like put text down here. So let's say I'll take the word savage and I'm going to bring it down here, but I'm going to drag it above everything else. So we'll go above the lips and all. And then I'm even starting to leave these keep on and off for printing, because if you purchase a 13 by 19, well, no, that doesn't make sense. No, it will, because when I scale it down, I'll still be able to use these. But if you bought a 13 by 19 and if you want to go up to a full print, you'll have these layers there. So you'll know what size to make your file. All right, so let's take Savage. And, well, I don't want to put her name just in case. Let's put Melissa. I don't know. Just so you get the idea, but I'm not putting her name because that's the reason why I do the characters too. So it's kind of like a hint of the person, but not for real, for real. And I have a lot more characters to share with you all if some of these folks can do right. My word. All right, so there we go. So now it's a 13 by 19. It's not done yet. I have everything situated like I want it, but I'm going to go to my cropping tool and I'm going to set the ratio to 13 by 19. And I'm going to come in and make sure that everything is on this space. I don't want to clip anything off. I want a little white space top and bottom. There we go. Hit enter. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Yeah, we're gonna start doing classes too. So those of you all who who will tell me that that y'all aren't good at it yet, we're gonna start doing these classes because I'm gonna get you. It's not that. I think the greatest thing is to give someone confidence in what they do. And I tell kids this all the time, and my fellow creatives this all the time. Once you have confidence, and it can be confidence in anything, you can accomplish anything. Okay, that confidence will make you feel like you can accomplish whatever your goals are. So you'll be able to look things up better, all of that. And that's accomplishment in any one discipline. That's how somebody can be really, really good at one thing, and then they can automatically take to other things. Like some athletes, if people don't get their mind to where they only think they can do athletics, because that's a whole nother type of training mechanism. But once you say that, hey, I can master something, and you understand how you mastered it, you have the confidence to know that you do your thing, that's it. You take that confidence into other programs, other areas of life, other disciplines, and I'm telling you, you can rock out to anything that you want to do. I promise you that. Like learning and knowing Photoshop has opened so many doors for me as far as being confident with what I can do, what I can accomplish. I tell people yes before I even know if I can do something. And no, it's not before I know. I already know I can do it. Now, whether I'm going to do it or whether it's worth my time or money is another deal. But yes, you can do it. Y'all got this. Like for real, I have full faith that you can do exactly what I'm doing right now. All right, so that's our 13 by 9. That was the motivational speech for today. Let's go ahead, and this is not complete yet because it's really large. We don't need it to be. Image size, after we chopped it down to 13 by 19 ratio, now we have to get it to a 13 by 19 image size, okay? So automatically, we cut all that background image out. Look, we got down to 43 megs. So let's do 13 and it's automatically going to go down to around 19, 15.9 megs. Hallelujah. Let's say okay. Amen. Aisha says she's doing these all over. Working with the templates has prompted you to do that. Amen, girl. I'm telling y'all, all y'all need is this little confidence boost. And y'all are going to be taking off, and especially local competition. I would like for y'all to understand that there's probably nobody in your area doing things quite like this. And I don't care how small you think you are, whether you're working out of your kitchen, hint, hint, me right now, or you have a brick and mortar, or you have a complete online store, Etsy shop, any of that, this will set you apart from the rest. So that's why I tell people, don't be giving these resources out, because what you're doing, you're cutting your own foot off. You give people for free what you paid for and what you worked hard to learn, baby, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, so we're good with 13 by 19 now. I can file, save, or Control S. That is my 13 by 19 template. And I'm going to clean it up real quick because as soon as I get off of here, I am making this available for you all for the $10. Okay? Aisha, you are paying $29.99 for Photoshop? Oh man, do you have the subscription where you get all of the programs? Because if you don't need all of them, if you only do Photoshop, I want you to sign up for the plan that's $9.99, and it says the photography plan, but it's $9.99 a month. If you only use one seat, find you a buddy that can split that seat with you and cash out you $5 at the top of the month every month, and you in there for $5 a month. Okay? You changed it. Okay. All right. Because I have all of the programs. I use Illustrator also. So I don't even want to touch on Illustrator right now. It's a whole nother monster. I'm not even that great and confident as I want to be in Illustrator. It's a vector-based program. So that's why I have the subscription where I have all the programs. But yeah, if you have a student in your household and you want all of the programs, the best thing to do is to get that student email. Okay, how long are they gonna be a student? Get you a elementary level kid and ask you when are they gonna graduate, and you can put 15 years from now, and you will get that student subscription. You have to renew it every year to tell them that you're still a student, but it's $19.99 for all of the programs. And I'm talking about Premiere too. If you do video editing, Premiere. I don't do video editing. Y'all know I give it to y'all raw. How I record is how you get it. But Premiere is a powerful program to have. And start letting your kids get in on this. Kids doing Photoshop, Illustrator, video editing with Premiere is powerful. I started doing this in high school and it changed my life. I used to do everything hand painted, hand drawn, and I got into Photoshop. My dad put me on it. As a matter of fact, he was an artist that taught my brother and I how to design, or taught my brother and me how to design at a very young age, how to paint, draw, all of that. But then he said, the new wave is, Shanon, it's digital. And he taught me that from a young age. I was one of the first to have a computer, a little old school computer. He made sure we had the resources to stay up on top of this type of stuff. Your kids have this at their fingertips. They have power at their fingertips. And I guarantee you they learn it 20 times faster than we do. That's what's up, Chrissy Poo. Yes, those kids, I'm telling you. They say they're the future, and they really are. And I bet they can get on their phone or their iPads, and they can do Photoshop on the iPad like it's nothing. I have my niece and nephew, 9 and 7 years old. They actually do Affinity on the iPads. I barely showed them anything. And then I started turning to my dad, because when I would have questions, instead of answering my questions, I never knew if my dad knew the answers or not. His favorite expression was look it up. So that's what I tell him, look it up. Them help files are your friends. Them YouTube videos are your friends. Okay. All right. So let me stop talking to y'all, because I know most of y'all here trying to get this template. I'm gonna go ahead and get it online for you. Okay. That's what's up. You pay them too? That's awesome. Did y'all know that there's a tax incentive? Let me get on one more rant. Let your kids work. Allow your children to work for you. If you're earning income, there's a tax incentive. If they're your children in your household, you can use what you earn to offset what you earn to pay your children. I believe, don't quote me on this, I'm not tax prepared, but I'm just giving you something to research. Like my dad said, look it up. $12,000 each child. And it's a form of paying your children. Now, how it's spent, like whether you put it in these certain accounts for them and that sort of thing, that's another thing. Ask your accountant about that. But you can be tax shielded up to $12,000 per child. And if I can have well, I can't do that, my niece and nephew, technically. So if their parents are claiming them to basically do their own business and pay them up to $12,000 a piece. Now it has to be legitimately what they put into the business, but you can write that off. And it's not taxable. Do y'all hear me? Your kids don't have to pay taxes on it, I think, if they're under 16. Now, like I said, don't quote me on this, find out about this, because if I had kids, I'm telling you, I'd be putting them to work 2 or 3 years old. That's what I did with my niece and nephew. Had them in the shop working too. And they think it's fun time. Yes, you get the tax break. Absolutely. Definitely. But I think it's up to $12,000 per child. So I'm not telling you to max it out at $12,000, but I'm telling you, if you're getting a $70,000 a year from this type of basically self-employment, right? Because this is considered self-employment. And you think writing off 2 kids, $12,000 a piece, then put you in a different tax bracket when it comes to paying self-employment taxes? Self-employment taxes are a different kind of beast, okay? So a little bit I'm learning from the rich folk about tax shielding. It's not called tax evasion. It's called tax shielding. And just make sure that when you're making your money, you're spending it right before December 31st of the year, and you're able to claim these deductions and these credits. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go. I love y'all for real, and I will see y'all in a little bit. I have some artwork to catch up on tonight, so I'll probably be logging in, doing some live design time. All right. So in the meantime, y'all be looking out. In the next 15 minutes, template goes live, and then y'all will get the discount for the next hour. All right, appreciate y'all. Let me log off so I can do what I said I'm gonna do before I get distracted. Love y'all. Bye.